dinking around with Eddie and Webby. Dinking around with Eddie and Webby tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We are back together again. Twice in a row, baby.
Let's touch the tips like we always do. Can you believe it's 2 episodes in a row with Eddie and Webby together? I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either, but I love it. It's definitely way better when Eddie and Webby are together, no doubt.
I agree. The episodes where you're alone, they kind of suck.
Yeah, I agree.
No, a lot of them were good. You got a lot of good content out there, and I appreciate it. But hopefully that was just like a short-term hiatus, and now we're back doing Dinking Around. We have a special guest tonight. I'm super excited for it, but I'm also incredibly freaking thirsty. I had a lot of salt in my dinner, and what do you do when you're thirsty?
You drank.
Oh, yeah? What are we going to drink tonight? Buy you a drink. Is that T-Pain? That was just
Hey, don't get us any copyright infringement things.
I'm not nearly good enough of a singer for anything to be flagged to make it think that was a real song, you know.
I will be drinking a beverage from our good friends at New Belgium Brewing, and that is the Old Faithful Fat Tire Ale, the newer recipe.
How ironic. I found in the back of my fridge, it's in the back of my fridge because I must have forgotten it's there, otherwise I would have drank it, an old version of the Fat Tire. Oh,
man.
Would you look
nice.
At look at this. Look at that.
We got the old school and the new school.
That's right, baby. And huge shout out to New Belgium. They're awesome. They sponsor pickleball. Some of them play pickleball too. Makes me very happy that we have good beer in a lot of venues because Fat Tire is there, is what I'm trying to get to. Just like the Orchard at Jigsaw Health, which we had our debut of season 2 of the Arizona Pickleball League, Tuesday Night Pickleball last night. And there's a lot of New Belgium floating around that facility, that's for sure.
Nice. And there was at the Beer City Open this year as well. And I just so happen to be wearing my Beer City Open t-shirt.
Oh, yeah. So thank you very much, New Belgium. We appreciate that you're involved in pickleball. And we're grateful that we have good beer options at a lot of these pickleball places. Webby, my friend, cheers.
Cheers. This is going to be a very fun episode.
Yeah, what are we doing tonight? Are we going to talk about a lot of drama that's going on? We're going to recap MLP from the weekend. What are we doing?
Man, there's so much to talk about, but I don't think we should talk about any of it until our special guest joins us tonight. I would love to hear what he has to say about all of this. Today's guest has become incredibly popular in the pickleball world, especially on social media. To many, he is the voice of pickleball. And if you ask me, he's the voice nobody asked for, but he's the voice we all needed. Please welcome to the show, the one, the only, Tropickle. Come on.
Tropickle Cameraman. Hey, what's up, boys? How are you?
What's happening, man?
What an intro. You are the voice of pickleball. You're the original voice of pickleball.
Oh, come
Both
on.
of you guys. This is Webby, not Eddie. Tell your friends about him. This is Webby, not Eddie. Michigan's finest. When you're smitten with the mitten, they're talking about you, baby.
Oh, you're far too kind, far too kind. I love it, though. I love it. This is awesome. Been wanting to have you on for a while. I'm glad it worked out. And the timing is pretty perfect because, I mean, you've been a busy boy over there. You've been at Major League Pickleball. We just dropped a new Eddie and Webby video, and you were featured in the beginning of it. I mean, come on.
What are you going to do? Worth every penny. That's why you guys pay me the big bucks to do this.
Wait,
Love it.
how do we pay you big bucks when we don't get big bucks? I don't know how that works, but
Eddie and Webby, not the best at business, not the strongest business stats. Good,
Right.
Good podcasters, good content makers.
oh, thanks. Shucks. What are we going to talk about tonight? Like, there's really not much going on in pickleball right now, right?
No, not at this moment. Just this podcast. Just this podcast. At this moment, just this podcast. No tournaments, but just this podcast. That's what we can talk about. There's a lot going on. Tour wars that's been beat to death, but who cares? MLP, right? Beer City. I haven't talked to you in a while. Well, I saw both you guys at Beer City. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Saw you guys when we were out to eat. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Then we took a picture together. I don't know. We could toss that up somewhere. That should be the background.
No, that was awesome, though. We did get to hang out at Beer City Open. We got to see you do what you do in person. That was very fun.
Webby, was there anything you were surprised about the first time you met Tropickle?
How gigantic he is. I mean, he's like super, super tall. I had to look up at him every time I was talking. I mean, he's a very tall man.
It's crazy. I'm literally gigantic, just a giant.
Just absolutely. How tall? For the record, how tall are you?
6'7".
Wow, it's about almost a full foot taller than me.
Yeah, it's all right. But we look alike. It confuses his brothers in Beer City. They confused us as brothers. No, I met Webby a couple times. I don't think I met Eddie before because we're from living close enough the same area. I don't think you live too far from me. Anyway, I saw you at Royal Oak a couple times because I've been watching you guys for a long time. I always like the content. Even when I first started playing pickleball 3 years ago, whatever it is now, 3-4 years ago, I'd always watch Eddie and Webby like content, like your Webby versus everybody. And your highlights of different tournaments around the area because I'm from that area, so I would just watch them, right? I would see you would go crush it at those. Yeah, you'd crush it in those tournaments. 3-0, 3-5, get 5th, 6th place is great too. You and Wendy, my girl Wendy. I like messaged on the thing. I'm like, what did I say? I'm like, dude, Wendy, man, is she taken? She's single? You're like, yeah, she's married. She's like 80 years old. I like really lost it. So good.
Oh, Wendy is a beast. The team of Wendy and Webby, we are definitely a force to reckon with. We signed up for a 4.0 to 5.0 tournament, and we got bronze, baby. It was a tough group, too.
Let's go. That's hype, man. Good for you guys, man. You were playing a lot, man. Good for you, man. It's not easy, man. A lot of people are getting good fast out there. Good for you, man. That's awesome.
How much you get to play, man?
Lately I haven't been playing that much. I've been so busy with work and pickleball stuff. I was trying to play 2 days a week, but now I've been barely even playing. MLP, I didn't even take my stuff. I didn't even take any of my gear to MLP. Didn't even play at all. Didn't hit the ball at all around. I wish I could be playing more, but I just been busy, man. Just really busy. So wish I was playing more. Hopefully get better too. I'm trying to go pro, man.
Are you? That's cool.
Absolutely not. I'm not trying to go pro. Imagine if I'm not trying to go pro. That'd be great, though.
Well, but here's the thing. All right, so you bring up a good point. Well, actually, you made a joke, but what other sports can you at our age? I'm going to lump you in with our age, even though I'm assuming you're younger than us. But what sport at our age do you actually have a shot at playing professionally in? Maybe cornhole. Like
cornhole, yeah.
Right.
You're absolutely correct.
Maybe darts.
Yeah.
I don't. Even darts is probably like. I'm just saying. I think that's one of the great things about pickleball is that there is hope. It is something that you can work towards, and having natural athleticism helps. But you know, it's possible.
Yeah. So that's a real issue of the sport. Not to get to get philosophical about it. Philosophize about it. I think that's one of the great things and one of the issues about professional pickleball and the growth of the sport. So is this. So it's like, so you watch the NFL or you watch NHL or NBA and you sit there and you're like, my goodness. Or even tennis. You watch tennis, right? You watch Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic hit the ball 30 times at 80 to 100, even just on their passing shots, 80 and their ground strokes to 80 to 100 miles an hour. And you're like, I could play for 10 years and not even get close to that. Pickleball, it's a little bit different. Pickleball, you can watch Ben Johns play, and a lot of people are like, I could do that. And they go and try, right? And they're going to get play and that. But, I mean, that's because everyone thinks they can go pro. That's the big thing, too. Everyone's like, hey, I want to try to go pro. It's like, man, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's not easy to go pro at anything, right? 8 hours a day, even 3 hours of playing, 2 hours rest, and then they go train. A lot of pros just go train in the gym to go and play pickleball, and it's not easy, and it's not. But like I say, not to get philosophical. Oh man, I'm having a really tough time with words. Philosophize about it, but it's just like, it's just what it is. Well, becoming a professional player, it's like you can do it, and you could definitely try. And the big thing is, there's multiple leagues now you could go do it in, right? There's the AVP or the PPA, and the people go and really try, right? And it's a lot. And some of the sponsors, right? People are paying, if they're paying for it, like go do it. Why not, right? Just if you're going to get paid to go play, if they're going to fly you out, then go and try and give it 110%. But if you're going to do it, then do it. I don't know. Maybe if I was a young Thundercat, I would and didn't have a job. Try to go pro, but who knows?
Here's the thing. Like, what in Webby, I want to ask you this. Like, what do you define as a pro player? Is it that you play and you make money? Because, I mean, I could enter a Moneyball tournament, at 4-0, and with the right partner, we might be able to make a few bucks. Does that mean I'm pro? Does it mean playing in the pro bracket? I don't know. Webby, what do you think makes a pro pickleball player a pro pickleball player?
To me, I see it as somebody that makes a living off of playing pickleball, which you can actually do now. A couple years ago, that wasn't the case, but like now, I feel like a couple years ago, it was harder to answer that question because really nobody was making a living. Even the best players weren't making a living exclusively on pickleball. But now I feel like if that's all you're doing to bring in income, I feel like you could consider yourself a pro, even if you're not like part of the PPA or whatever. If you're just like an instructor, but you make enough money based on teaching people, I mean, I feel like that could be still considered a pro player, just a different level of pro.
What about Andrea Coop though? Like she doesn't make. I mean, she makes money with pickleball, but that's not her primary source of income. But I wouldn't say she's not a professional pickleball player.
I feel like if she wasn't a lawyer, she could still live off of what she's currently making by playing pickleball. So, I mean, you can still have another full-time job or another side gig or a full-time job, and I would still consider them a pro. But I don't know. I feel like if you could survive on the income that you're making from pickleball, I would consider you a pro player.
Yeah, it's kind of a loose definition, I guess. It's not really.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, what if you are 4-0, but you are famous? I mean, what if the Kardashians just started making pickleball videos? They would be able to make enough money off of it, but they're not really that high level of a player.
I would consider that they are making money off of being influencers. Like I would say, if our friend Tropickle here, if he's making enough to make a living on, I wouldn't say he's a pro pickleball player. He's an influencer, a pickleball influencer.
All right,
that's true. No, I agree. Well, it's hard to define.
We're getting real philosophical here.
That is right.
Philosophical. That's how you say it. My God, I had a tough time. Jesus.
Speaking of you being an influencer and doing what you do, if I remember correctly, I heard you talking about this on the Tennis Sucks podcast last year with Travis Rettenmeyer, and you basically it sounded like the Beer City Open really motivated you to really go full force and get into doing what you're doing. Is that accurate? And if so, can you tell us about that?
Yeah, for sure. It's really started at Beer City. There's just a bunch of us. There's a couple of us, and I'm the only one doing it. Really left doing it because it's a lot to do this stuff. To do like on social media, right? Everyone's got real lives, and like everyone's got real lives, and everyone's busy. And for me, it's like it's been a lot of fun to just voice points over and like do different things. That's really where it started. It really started at Beer City. We started drinking. I never even watched pro pickleball, and then really started following Travis and Gabe around. And no one was watching. They were out of some random court. And they were playing DJ and Zane, and he started chirping. I was drinking. I was like, dude, I love this guy. And then we followed them the rest of the tournament. It kind of started from there. And then one of the guys was like, dude, we should do this on Instagram. We should just do this. Like, we should just start an Instagram page. Like, let's start doing this like all the time. And it kind of spiraled from there. And I'm really the only one left doing it. But it's been fun. It's been a fun ride. It's been just about a year now, like when we started, August of last year. And it's been just about over a year. And it's really just kind of picked up, like been able to travel, like doing this stuff, which is kind of crazy. Like people have paid me to go out and travel to do stuff. And it's like, I never would have thought, right? Just 12 months ago, I was doing this for fun. And then like literally 4 days ago, I interviewed Trey Young, like at MLP, which is like kind of not like insane. Like Bodyguards, he has a like crew of like 10 people deep, and then like interviewing them, right? And then even hosting and emceeing an MLP event. Like whoever thought that would have happened? Like I wouldn't have thought about it. And it is what it is. It's like, it's like the world works. It's just crazy, man. Like pickleball's like a lot of people, right? I sat there. It's like, you don't think about it. It's like people that you've met, you wouldn't have never even known, right? Like everyone makes a lot of friends playing pickleball, meeting a lot of people, traveling for it to different tournaments. And it's crazy the spot that we're in, the kind of friendships and like avenues and opportunities it's open for a lot of people, not just myself, right? Just a lot of people, like people that you haven't met or traveled, right? Even Beer City, seeing you guys, like talking with Paul and Andrea, like you would have thought, man, 10 years ago or 5 years ago that we'd be doing stuff like that. It's just crazy the way the world works, right?
Yeah. You found a niche. You went for it. Your motivations were pure and for the fun of it, and now it's turning into something more. And I feel like that's a lot of people in pickleball, their story, right? Like if you go into pickleball and your motivations are money or your motivations are fame or all these other things, it's probably not going to get you very far because it's
absolutely.
It's not the environment. But if it's something that you're passionate about and you follow it, now all of a sudden you're emceeing Major League Pickleball, one of the biggest, actually probably to this day, the biggest Major League Pickleball event that's out there. What was that like? I mean, was that, did you have to pinch yourself? Was it like, no, I've been here before, it's no big deal? Like, talk to us about that.
That was like the really first time I did it, because like Beer City was the first time I like emceed something, but I really didn't MC, like just did some announcements and had a little bit of fun for a couple hours. This one had scripts, had sponsors, and I probably did have to pinch myself. I had goosebumps and like goosebumps like all day, like the vision, the ideas kept popping up, and I had like a sweet crew. Like the DJs were money. We played off each other super good. If you talk to people that were there, we got a lot of compliments on how well it was and how well it went. And it's kind of creating that like a really fun atmosphere. And that was like my job, to get the crowd hyped, because a lot of people didn't hear it over the live stream. But like I would do player intros, and people were like, it was so hyped. Players were telling me they got even goosebumps after I like did intros for them. Like it was just that insane. Like what I say for Tyson, I was like, how'd I do it? So my voice is still actually like sore, like hoarse from it. That was just Saturday. Like it's still actually hoarse, but it was like, what'd I say? Tyson McGuffin recently took up American Sign Language, as you saw from PPA Cincinnati with Tyler Loong. And like the whole crowd went nuts. They all started laughing. And like everybody, like every player, I would have some sort of tidbit, but I would hype them up too. It's like, it was serious though, because they're playing for a lot of money. And they play for a lot of money, and like get to know them. And it's like a really fortunate spot that a lot of the players, I mean, I think most of the players, a lot of them do enjoy what I do is in Tropickle, and they like let me have free reign, talk to them, like interview them on the mic, and then get the crowd hype. Really, like that's what it was about too, is like getting the crowd hype into it, tossing things out, like, and then just keeping people engaged, because it was hot too, man. Like 80 degrees, 85 in the sun. It was hard, man. Staying hydrated, and like just going, giving it 110%, But it was awesome. Let's just say that. When you're asking that question, it was awesome.
Nice. And yeah, I loved, I could hear you in the background from time to time. I was like, oh, nice, Tropickle's doing the emceeing. And I was in the YouTube chat. People were raving about it there. I just recently got into the Discord pickleball chat, which we might talk about a little bit later. That's a whole different topic in a world of its own. But I was in there, and people can be very critical in that group, but everybody had really good things to say about you. And they were saying,
really?
They wished, people were saying like you and whoever was doing the DJing, like it was way better than any other pro event that they've heard before.
PPA.
Dude, I'm like ecstatic, because I really tried, and I told my people there, I'm like, you know what, what if I told you, like, no bullshit, no joke, it was I got there at 7 a.m. both days, scoped the place out, walked around, got a feel for it, like just kind of like getting a feel for the environment, like breathing it all in, taking it all in. I started like, I didn't like eat or go to the bathroom. I would eat snacks. I didn't go to the bathroom both days until like 6 o'clock. Jeez. Like literally, it was just like I was on the court all day, every day. Like, and then plus like watching the games, because I think people enjoy Tropickle or even what I do. It's like I think I'm a real student of the game. I like really try to watch it, analyze each play, flaws, right, in their game, and how to get better. Actually analyze, like commentate. Like that's what I didn't do that there, but it's like I had some ideas on what people could do. It's like sometimes you don't want to say anything or talk to players. Some I know well enough where it's like I have some ideas or thoughts. They might like it, they might not, but it's just like that's that. I mean, that's just what it was. It was like that's how close I was to it. I was literally I was on the court announcing with them, and it was just like crazy. Like I said, crazy days, like 12-hour days. I was exhausted, but like I said, I gave it 110%. Like I'm a big believer in that in life. With anything you do, if you see you commit to something, give it your best and give it your all each day. And that's what I felt like I did. Like, cause even that, like I was only supposed to do it till 2 o'clock on Saturday. Oh, but then Caitlin, for her, plane landed. She's doing that like pickleball show, the reality show, and then her team was in the finals, the night owl. So I was there till 4. I jetted out of there and had to catch my plane. My plane back home to Detroit was at 6. Like, yeah, I went on a tangent there. I don't even know what you asked. I don't even know what you asked or said, but I went on some massive tangent. I truly don't even know the context of the question.
What, like, talk to me about what's your background that led you to this? I mean, obviously, listening to you talk, you do have a naturally engaging voice, and it's a big voice, and you use your inflection well. There's a lot of things from a communication perspective that obviously you excel in. Is that natural? Is this something you've learned? Is it your career that's kind of gotten you to this point? Talk about that a little bit.
No, it's actually natural. Like where this really actually all started from. And I don't think anyone's ever heard it. We used to have a Tuesday night group, or we still have a Tuesday night group that we do pickleball stuff. And depending on who played in it, I would do intros. Actually, I have them on my phone still. Like I would do intros. Like these 8 players, I would just do intros for these players. I would make up nicknames every week. But you talk about the inflection and stuff. I would just do like the Joe Buck thing all the time. So we what do I do? It's like I just do off the top of my head. Like people think I like at MLP. I like wrote down like where they're from, some highlights, but the rest of it I would just make up on the fly. Like I would literally sit there and like make it up as we go and just think of stuff in the morning, and then it was added in. So it'd be like right now if I wet it up, it'd be like Eddie and Webby. Eddie, living in Naples, Florida, working for Jigsaw, Pickleball Cocktail, Electrolyte Supreme. He is a big fan of the brand, loves it all. Small penis, though, overall. It's like, I like the whole, it's like that. And then Webby versus everybody. Check it out. That guy is getting better and better. He played an 82-year-old woman, scored 2 points, lost 11-1, 11-1, but he is getting better. Him and Wendy, 4-0-50 tournament, got bronze. Crazy. They had three teams, though.
So good. So good.
No, but it's just when you talk about it being natural, like it is, and I think about that stuff. My mind's always racing. But like even after this thing, if I were to do this more and more often, it would have to be like my wife laughs at me, but it's like training my voice and like you talk about inflect. It's a lot, man. It's like I had to like. There's like a specialist on site, like a chiropractor, and I was telling somebody like, man, my throat's killing me, everything's sore. It's like, oh, I'm like, go see the chiropractor. She's like, what you're doing 12 hours a day of using it's like a muscle that you're just using to its fullest extent and capacity. It's like, it's not, you can't just show up here and like try to do it for 12 hours. And I think that's what it was. Like, I got to do like I said, some training, like literally vocal coaching, or like using it's like singing almost, right? It's like, this is like, yeah. So that's really kind of got into it. If it was a Tuesday night pickleball thing, I would just make it up on the fly. Literally, I would just write down my friends' names and then just go I don't want to say the names out loud, but I would just go and just keep going. And Tommy, like blah, 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 like the train, like just, it's like just makes the same thing I just did right there. Like the same exact thing. I mean, I would remember it. Like even the Tyson McGuffin thing, like on my way there, I'm like, oh my God, that would be so good if I said he just learned American Sign Language. Like on the way there, I'm like, who? Oh, like Christian Alshon. I was like, the one match I did, like announced him, I said, Christian Alshon taught James Ignatowicz everything he knows. And the next match I said, guys, I was wrong. James Ignatowicz taught Christian Alshon everything he knows. And he got super, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Because they got a big bantering thing back and forth. But that's what it is, man. It's just kind of like all natural. Like, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's just all natural. Like, just started doing it and it kind of picked up, man. That's really, yeah, that's it. And in Webby, though, you're getting better than I am. You got to stop doing it, dude. I hear you doing it. You're just getting better than I am. They're going to start wanting you to do stuff when you're doing those voiceovers.
Yeah, though, the most recent video that I posted, I did my best tropical impression. But I flipped the script. I was recording him and then doing commentary about him, doing commentary about the pro players and stuff. That was very fun, very fun.
That was so good. It was so good. Tropickle, he's standing there, he's watching intently with this phone. Like the way you said it was so good. It was just great. You did a good job.
Yeah, I tried to do like the inflections that you do because you have like just a very distinct style, and I love it. And I remember the very first time I ever saw one of your videos, I think you tagged us in it because I think it was a video that maybe we did the live streaming of a tournament or something, or maybe it was from one of our videos. I don't specifically remember which video it was, but it was something that we recorded or had something to do with, and you tagged us, and then you did your own voiceover, and I was dying laughing, and I'm pretty sure I sent it to Eddie. I was like, oh, dude, you got to watch this video that somebody tagged us in. I had no idea who you were at the time, but I loved it. And to be honest, I almost thought it was too edgy. Like, I didn't think it was going to catch on in the pickleball world just because, like, Eddie and I have learned, like, the edgier and funnier content that we've put out there, typically nobody watches. Like the stuff that we think is hilarious and edgy and fun, nobody cares about. And so I saw that and I was like, oh man, I love what this guy's doing, but there's no way the pickleball world is going to embrace this. But luckily it did. And I saw your subscriber and follower count just grow and grow on Instagram. And yeah, I love it. I'm like, I feel like your story is very similar to ours, because like we just kind of got hooked on pickleball. We went to the very first ever Beer City Open just because it was called Beer City Open. I mean, we went there because it was in Grand Rapids. We knew they had a bunch of great breweries, so we went there.
Yeah.
We did our thing. We did our vlog, and we didn't think anybody even saw the video, but the tournament directors, we got contacted on Twitter. Andrea Coop, she tweeted us. We had just created a Twitter account, and we got a tweet for like a direct message on Twitter from Andrea Coop. And she was like, I'm Andrea. I'm one of the tournament directors of the Beer City Open. We loved your video. And we just started talking and communicating from there. And then they ended up they sent something in the mail, and we opened it up, and it had a Beer City Open towel. It had a gold medal from the Beer City Open, and a really nice letter just saying they gave us honorary gold medals for the nice video that we made of our experience. And that, seriously, even before that tournament really like lit the fire under us for competitive tournaments. But then when we got that, it was like, we love the pickleball community. This is amazing. And that seriously is the reason that Eddie and Webby even exists today, is because of the Beer City Open and what Andrea, Paul, and Jeff did for us after that first video that we made.
And it was Matt Loria. Matt Loria is the one that discovered it and brought it up to them. And that's how we also became good friends with Matt. So and we've been to every single Beer City Open since, just because I think that it holds such a special place in our heart. It's such a great community. They make you want to support them because of how incredible they are.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, they're the best. Yeah. She wanted me to come out this year and do so. That's where I met Matt too. Great guy. And the Beer City does such a good job. And the venue is money. Like super good. I stayed downtown. I was able to there's nothing I love more than limes. There's nothing I love a good lime scooter. Like I could scooter everywhere all the time. I was able to scooter to the venue. Belknap Park is awesome, like super, super great. And then the whole squad, Paul's money, great. Andrea is an angel. I was really happy to actually, you know what? I had the pleasure on last Friday, so it's 5 days ago now, to introduce her on the first game of the day for the Brooklyn Aces, which I was really happy about. Like, so Andrew's great, man. Like I said, I agree. Beer City's awesome. How long have you guys been doing? How long ago did you guys go there for the first time? How long ago? You guys been doing this for a long time. How long ago was
2018. Was that the first one?
Oh, 5 years ago?
Yeah. This was the sixth, and we even went to the COVID year. So it was supposed to be a tournament. APP did like a professional exhibition there. Webby and I made it for that one in 2020. So we were there even the year where it was just a little pro exhibition. So yeah, we just had our sixth Beer City Open back in July.
Dude, good for you guys. It's awesome. Like I said, it's awesome. It's nice that it's like local for us. Well, like I know you got to travel in, right, Eddie, but it's like for Webby and I, it's at least local enough. 2.5 hour drive, 2 hour drive from my house, which is great. And a lot of a lot of my squad was there too. A lot of the crew was there too. A lot of the East Siders, a lot of people from Michigan. They all knew who we were and stuff. It was great to cheer a lot of people on. Like Draper was there. Like it was great, man. Some of our friends had some really good run. Like Casey had a really good run there. Casey Cullen had a really good run there, right? So it was nice. I got some content with him too. Yeah, great tournament, man.
Earlier we were talking about like some of the moments where you kind of like had to pinch yourself and stuff. For me, the first moment that I really had to pinch myself was the second Beer City Open. Eddie and we did our podcast live from Perrin Brewing, and they had the pre-party, and like it was the who's who of pro pickleball. All the pros were there, and like one after another, one would join us, talk to us, then they'd get up, they'd send another pro over. We had Ben Johns, we had Irina, we had Andrea Coop. I mean, we had like everybody you could think of at the time, Kyle Yates. And it was just like throughout the whole night, I was like, is this actually happening? I mean,
it's crazy.
It's just, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, it's just crazy. And then you mentioned Chris Draper. We had Chris Draper on the podcast. That was another moment where I had to pinch myself. I mean, just all because of pickleball. This amazing stuff is happening for the three of us, and I absolutely love it.
No, it's crazy, man. Like I still can't. Like I can't even. Like I was sitting there. There's just so much even in Atlanta. Like 'cause Sam Query was there, and he was like number 12 alternate. So they had a lot of people there to be an alternate in case someone got hurt, and he was like number 12 on the line. And sitting there talking with him, and it was just kind of crazy because this dude at one point was a like semifinal guy, like semifinals of Wimbledon, and now he's 12th alternate, and he was helping set up tables. He was doing the laundry of the cloths. That's what they had him doing to like earn his keep there. But that's what he's got to do though, man. And he's getting better, but he's getting better and better. His duper's growing exponentially. It's like 4'6", 4'7" now. It's like, imagine, could you imagine once he gets to that type of level? And it's like, and I was sitting there, he's like my height too, we're the exact same size. And it was just crazy, man. Cause I was just like, cause I was trying to like, hey, I told you like, hey, I'd love to see you out there, Sam, playing. And it's like, if you need some lessons, like I'll give them to you right now. We're going back court right there. And I'll give you some lessons. And that's what it was, man. And it's just great. And I was able to interview him a lot too, like on the thing. Cause like he had some good, like he's really good on the microphone because if you really think about it, like even during Dream Break, cause I'd ask him a couple questions like, hey, what do you got to do in Dream Breaker to win? And he would do it on the mic there because it's like, if you really think about it, Dream Breaker is singles pickleball.
Yeah.
And it's like, this guy literally made it to the semifinals of Wimbledon. Like he knows how to play tennis, right? Pickleball, he could play another 10, 15 years and he'd still be garbage, right? But it's like, he could play at least tennis. It just is what it is.
I love it, man. Why is it so fun to rip on Sam Querrey? Is it because he asked for it? He put himself out there. He kind of made himself a target. What is it about that?
If you pull up a picture of his face right now, that's all you need to hear. That's all you need to see. Just look at his face, and you're like, this guy is going to get it, dude. You're going to get every single piece of hate that's thrown at him. And yeah, I'm just going to keep doing it until somebody tells me to absolutely stop. I'll just keep doing it, man, because he deserves it.
Keep going. Keep going.
Number 1 overall pick. Not even in the league anymore, dude. Not even close.
I love it. So there's also there's a characteristic out there, something that I'm very envious of, and it has to do with the ability to, let's just say, to talk shit about somebody or to make fun of them, but it comes off in a way that is so non-threatening, and it's fun and it's playful, but it's a very delicate balance. You certainly have it. I also think Zane Navratil has it. And what he said about Rafa Hewitt and Rachel, oh my God, what's her last name?
Yeah, so Rohrbacher,
and how he basically was saying that, you know, he's played with Rafa before. He actually met Rafa's dad. Hey, if he hadn't met Rafa's dad, he would have thought that Rachel was his daddy.
Yeah, it's the best, dude. It's so good.
All right, so Webby, like, you know, what is it about these guys that they can get away with that where if somebody else said the exact same thing with the exact same tone and the exact same inflection, it wouldn't be received as well? What is that about? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I feel like I do, and I feel like it's just got to be. It comes down to personality. Some people, they're just so likable and relatable that they can pretty much say anything, and you can't get too mad at them. Whereas, like Leah Jansen, for example, I feel like if she says anything just remotely negative, people are going to get all over her and be like, oh man, I can't believe she said that. She's such a horrible, evil person and stuff like that. And I think it's just because, like, if you get to know her, she's awesome and super nice. Mm-hmm. But if you don't know her, and when we had her on the podcast before, and she basically admitted that she has RBF. I'm sure you all know what RBF is, but like, she just, I don't know, like first impressions, like when you first look at her, like she tends to come across as kind of scary and angry all the time. So I feel like if somebody is like that and says something negative, they're like, oh, it's just typical angry, evil Leia or something like that. But if you get to know her, she's super nice. But then you got people like Zane, who is just always seems happy, always seems in a good mood, always fun and funny. And even when he says something negative or if he's pissed off, it comes across likable still in some way. So I think it's really all about like personality and how people present themselves.
I've always wondered about that. So anyway, Tropickle, back to you because you are the star of the show.
I'm just the star of the show.
What?
That's so good. Like, no one cares, man. No one cares.
Oh, that's a lot. But like, what's next? Where do you want this to go? What do you want to? I mean, have you thought through, you know, anywhere you want to take this in pickleball, or is this just kind of like you're just having fun and seeing where everything takes you?
Yeah, honestly, that's a really great question, Eddie, because it's like, I don't know. I had never known. I'm just going to like, because this is it though. You made a really good point earlier, Webby, where you're like, you know what? People like the edgy stuff. People don't. Some people do. I don't know if it'll take off. Like myself, and we started it, like I didn't care. Like I still don't care. Like it's like I'll cuss and say whatever I want if I feel like it. I just do what I want to do. My goal is not to become super rich or whatever. I just did it because I enjoy it. And some people do enjoy it. And that's what it's like, the beauty of it, like what we do. It's like, if you don't like Tropickle, block it, right? You don't have to watch it, anything. It's like, has Tropickle grown? Yes. Could it grow faster if we tried? It's like, yeah, for sure. It's like, stop cussing, made it more family friendly. I had even people tell me there, it's like, man, I'd love to watch more of your stuff, but I have like kids and like I can't like turn it on speaker. Somebody said that to me at MLP Atlanta. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. But she's like, no, I love what you do, though. Keep doing it, though. It's like, apologizing. And that's what it is. Like, I just, like, to answer the answer, it's like, I don't know. Like, right, I never thought I'd want to just go and MC MLP Atlanta. It just kind of happened, right? And that's what life is. You know what I'm saying? Life is like what you make it. Like, just keep doing what you, that's what I think. It's like, hey, I'll just keep doing what I do. Maybe people like it, maybe people won't. And it's like, it is what it is at that point. It's like, I really can't tell you, Eddie. I really can't tell you where I want to take it, because I never wanted to take it here. Like, I didn't, you know, like at this point, I was like, I'll just hide my face for a long time. And then it hit me that one time. It's like, no one cares what I look like. It's like pickleball. It's like, no one cares what I look like. No one cares what it's like. I voice stuff over and people think it's fun. And then that's what I'm going to keep doing. So it's like, I love to talk to people, like even doing the podcast like this, just like face to face. Because it's great. Because it's just, I don't know, you know. But that's what it is, man. Like, I don't know where I'm going to take it. Maybe we'll take it somewhere someday. Maybe an opportunity will fall into my lap. Like I said, life is good. Like I said, I'm just really happy where I'm at right now. I feel really blessed, because it's like, who could do stuff like this, man? Like, even like late at night, to podcasts like this. Well, that's what I do. Even the thing I did at MLP, man, I felt really fortunate, like, to even do it. The opportunity, like really just, like I say, blessed would be the term, because it's just like, is it work even? I'm exhausted still, but it's like, doesn't even feel like work. It doesn't feel like work. It was just like, I'm there hyping people up, throwing stuff out to the crowd, meeting people, right? Like, come on, man. It's like, it's awesome. But so we'll see, man. We'll see where life takes us. It's been a year. We'll see the next year takes us, you know, Eddie Webby.
Yeah. You also bring up a good point too about, is it work? Yeah, it's exhausting. But I think that, to me, I'm going to get philosophical here again as well. This is getting deep tonight, by the way, really deep. But anyway, so to me, it's when you're exhausted, there's two types of exhaustion, right? There's, you're like absolutely drained, and then there's, I'm exhausted, but I'm energized by it. And I think that sometimes for me with pickleball, because, you know, you experienced it this weekend, Webby and I have experienced before with live streaming different events. I mean, God, Simone's tournament that we did 3.5 years ago, we were there at 5:30 in the morning and didn't get home till 10, 11 o'clock at night for 3 days in a row. We were also playing in the tournament. It's like, you're exhausted, but you're so invigorated by what you're doing. And I think that's the separator that makes it to where you're kind of following your passion versus you're doing it for shit reasons. Like, everybody's got to get paid, right? So of course, sometimes you're going to do things you don't want to be able to do. You don't want to have to do in order to be able to earn a living. But if that's all you're searching for, you're going to have a crappy life, because you're going to be just exhausted and drained by your work. But there's other avenues of work that are more exhausting, but they're exhilarating.
Absolutely.
There you go. Dropping the mic.
Yeah, very well said. And yeah, the Simone tournament that you talked about, I just remember being super exhausted every day, but I loved every single second of it. It was such a fun experience. We worked our asses off, but man, it flew by to me. And it was just super, super fun, very rewarding. So yeah, I feel like it's exhausting. It's a lot of work, but still a lot of fun at the same time.
No, I'll add to that, because it's like, so it was Saturday and it was 12 hours. So it was like nonstop, right? I would just get to the hotel, I'd eat, and then try to sleep. And then, because my mind kept racing about ideas for the next day. And like the exhaustion, like, it was so crazy, because I would sit there and watch points happen and then look around the crowd and look at people's faces, like just take myself out of the moment. And then like I would get goosebumps. Like I would get goosebumps, like hyping the players up and doing the intros, but then even during the points, and I would get on the mic, like, do you guys believe what we just saw? Like, do you, like, the most insane pickleball on the planet was just played right now. And it's like, it could like make some noise. And that's really what it was too, is the adrenaline of the event. And everyone was so kind. Like, honestly, big shout out. I like think about it. I keep thinking about how good, like nice. People be like, Nick, do you need anything? They'd be like, hey, do you want, and are you good on coffee, or do you want a smoothie? Like, oh, I'd love a smoothie right now. Cause they knew, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were all just so helpful. They made it easier. And like day whatever. It's like I would hype myself up like crazy because it's just like it was quarterfinals and the finals of the SoCal Hard Eights and the Night Owls, and I was like my voice was shot, pounding throat lozenges, coffee. Like saw that chiropractor, she like adjusted my neck, like massaged my like throat. So she said, but they were just so good. It was so professional. Like they were so good. And then like everyone was like a team, and like the DJs, we were like we had signals, and we were just, the music was hype, and the music was money. Like it was just, it flowed so well. Like everything was so good. And it's just like, I was exhausted. Like I said, it's like the adrenaline from the actual event and what we do. And you know what it really is too? I think about that Simone event, because it's like the fear of the unknown is what keeps you going too. So you don't know what's going to happen after this point, or like what you're going to say. So the Simone event, right? You guys are exhausted, but it's like, you don't know what's going to happen next. Like you don't know what point's going, or what you're going to have to do in the next hour. Like this next play, you're going to catch something. Because you watch a crazy point. Like if you watch one of the things, like I was going to make a video on it. It was on that Thomas Wilson point. The one you guys saw, the point, the Thomas Wilson point on the Utah Black Diamonds. Dude, if you watch in the back on the Dinks thing, like you see me sitting there and like jump into the air and like start running. I'm like, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Do you get what I'm saying? Like that's the kind of stuff. People were like, man, somebody commented like, dude, somebody said you walked 26 miles. I mean, I probably did. Like I couldn't sit still. Like I was like, this is crazy. This is such good pickleball. And I didn't film any content either. Like tropical like points. Like I was just so invested in like watching it as like a fan and then like announcing it, right? But that's what it is too. I feel like it was just the adrenaline. Like the adrenaline and then like not knowing you're never doing it before, like really makes it happen. And then, or the points, right? Even if I say I did it 10 more times, like I feel like it would always be like exciting because it's like new players to get into it, like upsets, right? Dream breakers. It's insane because the energy, like it's people don't understand unless you go to an MLP event, like you don't understand like what it does to players. Like people that have done, if you think about it, some of those athletes have been in that position a lot of times, some even in different sports, like at the highest level of tennis. And then they like still freeze up on that stage. Center court, championship court, MLP does something different to a lot of people, man. It's insane, right? It's really insane. And then like me thinking about that like makes it even better is what I'm getting at. It's super exciting.
That's great. What about you as a player? We've kind of talked about you as a content creator, an MC, what you're doing to contribute to the sport. But what are you getting from it? Do you play tournaments? Do you play recreationally? Where do you play?
You know, I haven't played a tournament in a minute. I did a minor league pickleball thing. We didn't do too hot. My Duper right now is like a 4.74. You know what? Big shout out to Duper too, because I talked to somebody from Duper this weekend, and they say that your podcast with their algorithm guy from a little bit ago is the perfect, like was so good. And I will say that it was a big shout out to you guys, man. The Duper people love you guys.
It's all Webby.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've had a good relationship with them. Like I've said before, like I've never been paid by them. We're not sponsored by them or anything. I've been a big fan of what they're trying to do. And with the recent updates, like I wasn't loving what was going on with them. So I reached out to them and they were totally on board with coming on the show to discuss the things that I didn't like and the questions I had, because I was very confused about what they were doing. So I am still a very big fan of Duper, even though some of the changes they made I'm not a big fan of. I do love the direction they're heading and the roadmap that they have planned out and the stuff that we discussed on that episode. It really makes me appreciate them even more. So yeah, I really do like what Duper is trying to do here for the sport.
Yeah, like I said, they love you guys. Don't have to hide, like go off topic, but like my Duper is like 4.74. I haven't been playing a lot of tournaments. Played at Beer City last year in this minor league thing. I'm trying to, like I say, play rec, but it's in Detroit, right? Metro Detroit. We had some really good players like on the east side. And then we just really stick to that same sort of crew now. And that's really all I've been playing. Like I wish I was playing more, but it's like tournaments are just a lot, man. Like just a lot. Tournaments are a lot to do. You go out there, they could be a 10-hour day. You could lose twice, go 2 and out travel. And it's like me at like my age, it's like if I really, it's like I love just playing rec, man. I love just talking smack. Like I do the same thing. It's probably what it is too. I talk a lot during when I play, and I talk a lot. Just like even now, probably even talking too much, but same type of thing. Like that's what I've been doing just on the east side here, like with my friends. We got some cool spots like Metro Beach, Webby. I don't know if you've ever played there yet or not, but it's like
I still haven't. I need to.
Oh, it's money. It's so money. It's like it's on a beach, man, and it's like 5 courts and they're lit. It's like come on. Like it's like, and it's weather right now would be perfect. I know it's windy today, but like this upcoming, it's going to be next. It's going to be hot. I'll probably go there a couple nights or try to and just get some playing in,
Yeah, and that's very rare for Southeast Michigan is having lit courts. I mean, that's like something that Michigan is sorely lacking. I mean, I get it because like Michigan, you can only play outdoors for like a few months each year. So I get why people don't invest in the lights, but man, that would be so awesome to be able to play under the lights.
No, I know. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Also, like I said, I was playing more. I'm an okay player. I'm trying to get better, but it is what it is, Just find the time,
How often do you get to play?
Not right now. Like lately, I haven't played in maybe 2 or 3 weeks. In the last 3 months, I've probably played maybe not even four times. Just been that busy. And then and it's crazy too. If you take some time off, I was telling the guys I was playing with last time, because it's like you think you can make all the shots, but you're slower. Everything's just like a step slower. Like you're just like sitting there and you're like, my God, I know I can make this. And it's like, dude, it takes a couple games to get going, and then you got to play a little bit more to get back up to that speed. It'll probably take me a little bit to get up to the speed I want to play at, but it helps being a giant. I will tell you that much. Being 6'7" really does help. Like it really does.
Oh yeah. I mean, your ability to be able to stand at the kitchen, take balls out of the air, I'm sure is definitely, especially at the 4-5 level, 4-5 to 5-0, that's critical. It gives you such an advantage. Do you find that some of the disadvantages that giants have in pickleball affects you? Like, for example, if I was playing against you, I'd probably target your body a lot more than I would, your reach.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd smoke me. I'd get like, because that too, it's like I'm big, and then I'm like big as in like thick. Like I've gotten a little hefty, dude, and it's like hard to get out of the way. It's like trying to move, and it's like can't move like I'd want to. And then like even dinking, I'm like, man, physically I just can't like keep bending over like this, like so many like points in a row. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what if you hit my body? Like if you ask people I play with, I'm blessed for some reason. I have very fast hands, so I'll never get out of the way. I'd rather just hit the ball back down. Like I'd rather hit the ball down.
But Tropickle, do not forget, I did issue a challenge for Webby versus everybody. Webby versus Tropickle. Are you still down? Are you still down for that challenge?
Yeah, we could still do it. Yeah, we could still do it. I could go and whoop your ass. That'd be great. Let's go just beat your ass. That'd be awesome.
Yes.
It'd be fun. Honestly, just mic me up. I think it'd be best if I mic'd you up. That would be the best thing. And not even that. I think it'd be, even if I lost, even if whatever, I think it would just be a lot of fun is what I'm saying. I would just chirp the whole time, right? Like anything that you did or I did, I think it'd be, I would just not bring your kids though, man, because it's like the absolute slaughter that's going to happen. You don't want to see that.
But yes, I do think from moving forward, I am going to mic everybody up because I haven't released it yet, but I did an episode against Johnny Pickleball, and we were both mic'd for that one. So I think moving forward, everybody's going to be mic'd that participates. So yeah, that will definitely happen if you and I play, and not if, when you and I play. So one more thing, Major League Pickleball related, I want to bring up is I don't know if you're aware of this, Eddie, but the team that was formerly known as the Columbus Pickleball Club is now known as the Columbus Sliders. And their logo in the background, there's paddles and a pickleball, but in the background of the logo, it's the White Castle logo. And I think we've talked about this briefly in the past. Maybe a lot of people don't realize this, but I am actually inducted into the White Castle Cravers Hall of Fame. And Columbus isn't too far. Columbus, Ohio is not too far from where I live in Michigan. So I feel like, I don't know, I might need to get involved in that somehow. And the reason I got inducted into the White Castle Hall of Fame is because I created a character called White Castle Man, aka Slider Man. And it's basically, if you think of Superman, but totally White Castle themed, that's what it is. And because of that, I got inducted into the Hall of Fame. I can't think of a better mascot for the Columbus Sliders than White Castle Slider, man. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Dude, there have been a lot of good ideas in the world. That's the one. That is the greatest idea I've ever heard. Yeah, I think so. I think, what's going to be crazy? I think you're not going to believe this. I think you should check your phone. I guarantee you Marvel's calling right now. They're running out of ideas. Movies aren't doing well. They're like, Webby, dude, you did it, dude. $1 billion movie coming right now. They're going to do that. It's crazy because you're not going to believe this. I actually got some messages asking if, hey, would you want to go to Columbus? I'm like, when? Like today, literally today. JW was in Columbus doing some stuff for the Columbus Sliders.
I saw that.
I would have rather have had you there. I'd rather have you there.
Right? Well, so I mentioned earlier that I joined the pickleball Discord servers, or like some of the servers out there on Discord are pickleball related, and so in there I've been talking about how I'm a big fan of the Columbus Sliders just because of their affiliation with White Castle, and then I told them about my history and stuff like that, and then I saw that JW was going to be there, and I expressed how disappointed I am that JW is going to be there, but not a White Castle Hall of Fame pickleball player, also known as Slider Man. I mean, that just seems like a travesty. I feel like somebody dropped the ball big time, both at White Castle and with the Columbus Sliders, because I know that one of the owners of the Columbus Sliders is aware of this, because I became friends, or I followed him on Twitter. He followed me back. I did a post about Slider Man. I tagged him in the post, so I feel like he has to know about it. I still didn't get the invite, so I don't know, man.
You know what? It's going to happen soon, dude. I'll talk to whoever we need to talk to. We'll get Sliderman to, if I do the MLP again, to California. Or it'd be great to do it in the Midwest again, man. I'd love to have they didn't have any MLPs in the Midwest this year, which sucked, because they're good events, man. They're great events. Now it's even bigger, right? MLP, like now the money's there, right? Like they got the teams, they got all the big names, all the pros buying it, right? Like, so that'd be great to see in the Midwest now. Maybe in Ann Arbor next year.
Yeah, Wolverine, they have a brand new thing that's opening at the end of this year. It's going to have 12 indoor courts.
Was it this year?
Yeah, by the end of the year, it should be open for business. 12 dedicated indoor courts. I mean, that seems like a great possibility for a future Major League Pickleball. So
that'd be great. I'd for sure do that. That'd be great. I'd love to have it there.
Man, this has been a super fun, awesome night. I do have one question that I want to ask for both of you. I'm very curious to know, like, what are your thoughts on the current state of pickleball? Do you think there's been too much drama, not enough drama? Has the sport grown too fast, too soon? What are your thoughts, Eddie? Let's start with you. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not a big fan of drama for the sake of drama. I'm not a big fan of drama for the sake of views. I think that's barking up the wrong tree. I wouldn't put it past some people in a 3-letter organization that would be paying players or encouraging players to do things that create drama, because it creates buzz and it creates visibility. And I don't like that. I think it's forced. I think it's fake. And I think it's moving things in the wrong direction. I think pickleball at its core is a wholesome, family-friendly sport that is accessible to all people. And the more that we move away from that, the bigger problems we are going to have. However, I do think that MLP is the future of pickleball. I think we have found that team-based events with maybe some tournament styles here and there, 4 to 6 a year, some major tournaments, is the future of pro pickleball. And if this merger that there's all this drama about is going to allow that to happen, I think that we're going to be in a much better spot. We need to have less events on a more frequent basis with a season, and give us time to miss pickleball and appreciate it when it comes back in order for it to get to the next level. Having tournaments every weekend, every other weekend with live streams and the same people winning over and over again, it's not good. It's not fun. I don't enjoy that. I love MLP and I love where they're trying to go with this. So if MLP can honestly get to where they are looking to within their own vision, I think it's going to be incredible. If we have some bumps along the way, like some of this drama and crap going on right now, so be it. But as long as we get there, I think we're going to be better off because of it, with a little bit of short-term pain.
Well said. Tropickle, what are your thoughts?
God, that was good. No, that was it's in a really, really weird place, because every day it changes. You know what I mean? And the real thing is, it's like, it's still really, people don't need to realize that pro pickleball is still very small. Like, really think about it. It's very, very small. There's 30 million plus, a lot of people that play pickleball in this country. A lot of people still don't even know what pro pickleball is, or even there's such a thing as pro pickleball. It is getting a lot more visibility with like the Pickle Slam, MLP, even PPA. It's getting on television, and it's like, Eddie, you mentioned it. It was like, we need to focus on, like, for me, it's still like the fan experience. Like, what could we do to make it super, super inclusive still as well? And really focus on the players. And actually, that's probably one of the things, like, even, what's crazy is like Tropickle, he was like, when it comes to like meme making, Tropickle is one of the first people to still like make memes. Like, the more people have come out, like memes of pickleball, and even the Dink started doing the kitchen. Like, we were the first ones to like bring out the memes and start like really doing it and going at it. And I really wanted to do that because it was it's relatable. Like memes, like, is super general. Like, going to play, it's like super general. Like, I think it's like keeping the people that like getting the people involved, even say at the professional level, even the amateurs more involved, and taking care of them more, even to stay at tournaments, right? Because some of the venues get really sloppy, parking gets terrible, the courts get terrible, tape lines super close. And I mean, that's what it is for me. It's like, yes, there's a lot of money coming into it and the thing is growing exponentially, but it's like, hey, let's focus on the fan, even at pro events, even MLP does a great job, the fan experience. If you really think about it, there's no amateur pickleball at the MLP, correct?
No.
So what do you have to do? It's like the experience. So that's why I was trying to think about, like, get the crowd super engaged and keep it super hype, super fun, super friendly. But that's where I think the current state of pickleball is at. It's like it's growing exponentially. And the scary thing is, it's like no one knows where it's going still, right? Like a lot of money, teams being valued at 10 million, they're being 10x, 20x, right, from what they were even just a year and a half ago. A lot of money being thrown in, a lot of big names. Everyone wants to ride the train. Is it just going to the moon too fast? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's going to keep growing, right? But it's like, yeah, we can't, like, I think, Webby, you said it, like, at its core, pickleball is really just all inclusive. It's really inclusive just for the regular. Like, you could be 10 years old, 8 years old, you could play. And that's what it's like really about, right? It's like being super inclusive, being super fun to play with, and being, and like just having fun, and not taking it too seriously, man. It's like, you guys have never played with me like Rec, but like sometimes it's like, I just love to have fun out there, man. That's what it's about. Honestly, maybe that should be the thing. It's like, just go back to its roots, having fun. Because, and then the thing is too, I will tell you, it's like, we're in a difficult spot because these pros, a lot of the players, this is their livelihood now, correct? Mm-hmm. It's like they are doing pickleball full time. Like, they have to worry about themselves. It's like, I get it. Like, if there's this whole, the wars that happen and everything, it's like, well, if you really think about it, man, this is their jobs now. Like, some of these people have families and children. It's like, how are they going to take care of them? Like, they need to have security and reassurances. It's not enough to get promised things and whatever, but it's like something about being secure and like taking care of your family. And it's just, that's I guess, the whole state of pickleball. Well, I think I just narrowed down the professional landscape where I think it's at, and then even the amateur. So it is actually the overall state of pickleball. That's my thoughts there. Big W, Webby Webovich.
Webby, I think we should close with your thoughts on the same question to you.
All right, so kind of piggybacking off of what you guys said, and especially Eddie, you said you think there's too many events. There should be some downtime to make us miss pickleball. It's no secret I am a big fan of pro wrestling, and something that pro wrestling does that I would love to see in the pickleball world is kind of like how they do pay-per-views. They have one big pay-per-view every month, and I kind of feel like pickleball could do the same thing. One big event every month. It could be a traditional tournament, say a PPA tournament. Maybe we've got 2 months of PPA events. So January we'll have a PPA tournament, February PPA tournament, and then March we'll have a really big Major League Pickleball event. And then we go back to a regular traditional tournament the couple months after that, and then Major League Pickleball. So like, have it like spaced out to where the players aren't getting burned out, and then also the fans aren't getting burned out on watching the events. I think if there was only one a month, everybody would love every event. It would be must-see TV. It would make people subscribe to, if it goes to the Tennis Channel, I saw the rumblings about a new 24/7 pickleball app that Tennis Channel is getting involved in. It might make people want to subscribe to that if it only happened once a month or something like that, to where it was like, oh man, I really got to see this event. I'm definitely subscribing to this app, stuff like that. So to me, space it out, have every event be a big, meaningful event, and I feel like people will really want to see it. And to me, that is the solution to the current problem with the oversaturation of pro pickleball.
Very well said, Webby. Oh, very well said. I think that's great.
First, look, Slider Man, and then the dub. I love it. I love it. I do. No, I'm a big fan. I used to be a big fan of wrestling. Scott Steiner's my favorite wrestler of all time.
Oh, nice. Steiner Math. Are you familiar with the old Steiner Math promo that he did in Impact Wrestling? That was kind of later on.
I got it in community college. I graduated with Steiner Math in community college, dude.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
One in third chance of beating me. That's it.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like I keep.
If anyone wants to, hey, tell them to go watch it. Webby, tell them to go watch it. Tell them to go watch it. Go watch Steiner Math. If anyone, just go watch Steiner Math. How about that?
Yeah, go on YouTube, do a YouTube search for Steiner Math, and it will blow you away, the promo that he cut. But yeah, I've been a pro wrestling fan my entire life. I keep trying to get away from it, but then something happens to pull me back in, and I just can't get away from it. So I've just decided I'm going to embrace it. So anybody that follows me on my personal account on Instagram or TikTok, it's very pro wrestling dedicated.
Heavy, yeah.
Love it.
Awesome.
Well, Tropickle, this has been great. As with all our guests, we give them an opportunity to plug whatever you want. How can people follow you? Do you have any people to thank? This is your opportunity to have the camera and the microphone on you alone.
It's been on me a lot. I don't really even have anything to plug or anything to say. It's just, like I said, really, really fortunate to be doing what I'm doing. And I know we haven't linked up yet, Webby, and we will, like, in person, play some games. But I just really want to say thank you for having me on, man. Like, Tropickle, like, come on, really? I mean, that's it, man. Just thank you so much, man. I appreciate you guys, and that's it. I don't have anything else to say. I really appreciate you guys having me on. This has been a lot of fun. I don't do this enough, man. I don't do things like this. So I really, really appreciate it. Giving me a platform to just I guess, be myself, and people get some insight into who I am and what I do, you know, besides the jokes and stuff on Instagram. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, this tonight is an example of why we do this podcast. I mean, this was just a super fun night. Anybody that maybe doesn't know Tropickle, which I'm sure most people tuning in already know who you are, but anybody that doesn't know, I'm sure this will help bring awareness to what you're doing. And I love what you're doing. Please don't stop. Please keep doing it. And it's just pickleball needs you. Pickleball definitely needs you. And the fact that Major League Pickleball hired you to do their emceeing, and I am very confident they will hire you for future events as well, because there's nothing but rave reviews. But definitely love what you're doing. Keep it up. And yeah, this is awesome. Have a great night, man.
All right, thank you, boys.
All right, man. We'll see you. How fun was that?
Man, another super, super fun episode. I mean, to me, that's like, he is a perfect example of how awesome pickleball is. I mean, he got bit by the bug like we all did, and then he found something that he was passionate about doing on social media. He just gave it a shot. Didn't know if anybody was going to like it. We loved it. A huge majority of the pickleball crowd loved it. And now here he is emceeing Major League Pickleball, the biggest event in all of pro pickleball. I mean, one of the many reasons why I love pickleball.
Yeah, I agree. He does have kind of a similar adjacent story to us, right? He got into it. He got hooked. He followed his passion. And look where it's leading him now. And it's kind of like getting him in these pinch yourself moments. It's so cool. But you can just tell deep down, he's a good guy with a good heart, and he's using things that he loves and his talents to making people laugh around him. And I think that's so cool. I'm so happy we had him on. And yeah, I really do think that we are going to see him in a lot of different things coming up in the near future, and people are going to be stupid not to grab him and you know,
right,
have him involved in their events.
Yeah, super fun. Love what he's doing. This was a super fun night, super fun episode, and I'm glad we were together again. It's always great to be together for the podcast.
Oh, it is, Webby. I missed doing these, and I'm glad that we're going to continue to do them. We'll probably have another episode maybe within the next couple of weeks. Hopefully it'll be good to get on every 2 to 3 week path here. I would love to do it more, but, you know, life, and you've got kids, and we have responsibilities, so it's tough.
Yep.
But we want to bring great content to you guys, and that's what this is all about.
Yep, we will keep doing it as much as we can, as frequently as you can, so make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment down below, all those things the kids are saying these days.
Yeah, those kids, huh? Well, on that note, I'm Eddie.
And until next time, this is Webby, not Eddie, signing off. Come on.
See ya.
Well, we're dinking around with with Eddie and Webby. Dinking around with Eddie and Webby tonight.
Oh, yeah.